Boys are back in the saddle. Take it away.
Welcome back to the Windmore South Sportscast. It's been way too long. I got Carter here with me, and unfortunately Luke is at practice right now for track because they've got sectionals coming up later this week. But we're going to hop right into it with guys across. You guys just want to introduce yourselves one by one.
I'm Peter. I play midi here.
I'm Alex. I play defense.
I'm Jack, and I'm also a midi.
All right, Peter is repeat offender, second time on the cast.
Yep.
Tell us how you're feeling.
I'm happy to be back. It was fun for the 6-man video, so I had a good time, and it worked. A lot of people came to that Wheaton North game, so this was a good way to get the word out, so I'm happy to be back.
Alex, how you feeling?
I feel great. Been a long time viewer of the Sportscast. Watched you guys for a while, so I'm glad to be on here with you guys.
A little starstruck, maybe?
A little bit, yeah.
Jack, how about you?
Yeah, same here. I haven't watched it nearly as long as Alex has. I've watched a lot this year. I always, got to tune into those uploads. But no, I'm excited,
There you go. Way to rep your jersey for Jersey versus Jersey Shore. Shout out seniors. Last full week in high school.
Yeah, it's kind of surreal, but we're almost done.
Yeah.
So let's get into lacrosse talk. How about you just describe the game of lacrosse for someone that's probably new, because most people probably know what lacrosse is, but they don't fully understand the concepts like basketball, for example.
I think the best way to describe it, it's kind of like hockey. You get live subs, so you can sub people on and off the field whenever you want. But obviously it's outside on the full-length field, so you do have 10 guys on the field at all time, like 9 normal players and then the goalie. But no matter what, it's always 6-on-6. So at all times, you have to have 3 people on offense who don't leave that half of the field, and then 3 people on defense who don't leave that half of the field. And then you have midfielders who can go play both sides. But no matter what, at all times, it's got to be 6-on-6 and 3 people on offense, 3 people on defense.
That was a good description.
Yeah. Sums it up.
Simple enough, right? Tell us a little bit about your season. I know, that's a question you guys didn't want.
Yeah.
But,
Definitely not at all what any of us expected, with Alex's injury and starting off 0-6 and not getting into the win column till a couple Saturdays ago at Naperville Central. I'm sure everyone's confused as I am, what happened and what's going on, because a lot of us as juniors were junior starters. And we did lose a good kid, Ben Dale, last year, so he would have been back this year, but he transferred out to Millowbrook, I think. So.
Yeah, New York. For me, obviously, the season is not even close to what I wanted it to be. It sucks, but I'm trying to be there with the guys on the team. I haven't been to practices lately. Before I got surgery, I was at practices. I tried to make it out to the games, but not really what we wanted for the entire season.
well, all right. Sorry, I'll let you talk in a second. But everybody out there that doesn't know, Alex tore his ACL.
Yeah, I played 1.5 games, so our second game of the season, I tore my ACL, and I was really mad, to be honest. I kind of knew right away when I was out there, the stereotypical snapping feeling when you're out there, and I'll admit I was crying, but that's more because I was pissed off. I was mad I was done. But I'm going to UVI next year, and I'm trying to make sure that's not my last time ever playing. So that's my plan for that.
For me, I'm just trying to stay positive. There's always a bright side to everything, and I feel like looking at growth throughout the season as a team, seeing our chemistry start to come together, and us really working as a unit, especially against St. Francis 2 days ago. That was a plus in the season.
We really needed that.
It felt good. It felt good to get in the win column again, and obviously it should not have been 10-9. That team, I think we could have beat that team by 8+, but they came back in 2 minutes, and it was a nail biter towards the end. So
yeah, we were up 10-5, and then I don't know, we were just
everyone.
It was hot. We slowed down.
Hot.
We slowed down, and they almost made a comeback, but we held on because we're good.
Yeah. There was a good save at the end by Luke Johnson.
Yeah,
that was really nice.
Well, you guys are riding a win streak right now, then.
We are.
Hey, watch out for the Tigers.
We're feeling good going into this next game.
Tuesday at Barrington. So.
That's a long time.
Ooh, that's a hike, especially on a weeknight.
And the game's at 7:45.
Yeah,
No reason.
Tuesday night lights,
So, do you guys kind of want to describe how you got into lacrosse in the first place?
So I started around like third grade with his name was Coach Bacher, and all of us, like most of us, were on the same team, Jack and I especially.
Yeah.
So it was like third grade. We just started. I went to Dick's with my dad, got like a helmet from Dick's, and then played again sports. You could rent pads, so I rented pads, and then I got like a $70 stick at Dick's. Didn't get it like strung or anything, just came like pre-strung and everything. And then from there, it kind of clicked, and I've played ever since. So.
I actually started because of Jack. Back in fourth grade, I was at Jack's house, and he played lacrosse at that point. I was like, I'll just fool around in the backyard with it. And eventually, just going over every day to his house, I fell in love with it. So eventually, I think like fifth grade, I bought my first stick and played my first season in spring. And then eventually, it just turned into I dropped everything and I started playing club. That was just kind of how I lived. Just go to sleep, go to school, play lacrosse, and then go home. But I fell in love with it, and I loved it ever since. It's kind of been my thing. So I appreciate Jack for introducing me to all that.
Oh, well, you're welcome. I started with Coach Bacher's team with Peter in third grade, and I can't remember like what motivated me to get into it, but I very much liked the physicality of it because I played hockey for like 3 years beforehand. Wasn't very good at it. Dropped it because I just wasn't too fond of it, I guess. And lacrosse just seemed like a better version of hockey for me, and it was nice because it was physical, but it was also mental, and I felt like it was just something that I could pursue.
You also need to know how to skate either.
Yeah,
that was-
running's a lot easier.
I fell a lot.
Do you guys have any favorite Tiger Lights, or not even Tiger Lights, because you mentioned club and stuff? Just like
My favorite memory
cross-
still has to do with Tiger
cross
Lights,
memories?
Yeah.
I don't know. Definitely getting food after wins. So last year we won a lot. So it would be like those like Tuesday nights we'd go out. We'd go to like Los, and then we'd go to like Andy's after because it was spring. The weather was nice, and we were like a really like well-rounded team last year, and we still are this year. But I don't know. It's just a good group of like lacrosse guys. We're all like really good friends. So.
Yeah, like our senior class, like we have a large senior class on the team, and we've all been playing lacrosse together for so long. It's even like the juniors and like a couple of sophomores on our team. It's a great group of guys, so it's always fun to be with them. My favorite memory is gonna have to be freshman year was the first year lacrosse was an official school sport, so first ever like conference title possible. We had to take the trip to St. Charles North. It was a tough game, but we came out on top. So first year is available. We took the title for a conference, and that bus ride back was one of the most fun bus rides I've ever had in my life. The bus may have been soaking wet when we were done, but it doesn't matter because we had a lot of fun on the way back. Our theme song for our wins was Bohemian Rhapsody, so we were screaming our hearts out about Mama, about shooting a man. The guitar solo. Louis Bellocchio was going down the aisle for the guitar solo because he had a really good game, and the water bottles just started flying around the bus. But yeah, that was really fun.
I had two memories, and I can't decide between the two because they both happened last year. And one of them was at Los after a game because someone bet Nikita Filatov that he couldn't chug it was the hot or hot sauce. I forgot which one. It was the red or the green one. And someone bet him $20 and someone else bet him like $5, and he ended up chugging it and coming away with a ton of money. But he also did not feel so well afterwards. But it was just, I think it was just the fact that we were all together, and it was just a good community, just having fun and just being dudes, And then the other one, I sent this video to Luke of me running this kid over in the Geneva game, and it was a very satisfying noise because I ran into the kid and his helmet hit my shoulder, and all you can hear from the audio is just a loud popping noise, and then the kid just pancakes, and it was a satisfying noise. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd also add, I wouldn't say this is a specific like singular memory, but I think these two can agree. Our entire 8th grade season on Wolverines,
That was fun.
Yeah,
I think that is the most fun we've ever had playing lacrosse because, so we only had one team, and in hindsight, this was probably the best decision. We decided to put our one team in the B League. So we have like a 25-man roster of 8th graders and 7th graders in the B League. We destroyed everybody. Every tournament we won. The playoffs we didn't make it far, but that didn't matter. That was like, we had great coaches. I mean, again, me, Peter, Jack, plus all the other guys we've already been playing with. We're all on one team. That was just a lot of fun. That was a great game.
Yeah.
Wolverines.
our theme songs and we'd like
6ix9ine was.
Yeah.
We wrote Luke.
Remember the
Luke
one,
Speaker.
And then the one parents like complained
Oh,
that they
yeah.
were like playing like pretty like vulgar music.
Well, I don't know if any of you, the listeners,
He's
have
not that very
listen to
nice.
6ix9ine.
He's not a nice rapper. But so,
it gets you going for a game.
He'd
That's
like
for
run
sure.
the warm up lap, and someone would have like the little JBL speaker on their shoulder. What was it? It was
Winchester.
It was Winchester.
Yeah.
Yeah, Winston or it was Winchester. So.
Do you guys want to talk a little more about people on your team who's contributes to your team? Like
Who's the
a little more?
is Velocio still on the team?
Yeah.
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 Sounds like an awesome dude. I wish he came on the show.
Yeah.
Based
Yeah,
on his
I mean-
post game celebrations.
No, I feel like it's kind of like all spread out. James Sock, he's been having a pretty like breakout year. So James Sock's had a good year. Obviously, like Eric Klopfenstein, he's like been our most like offensive guy. This
Nikita
year.
Filatov too this
Yeah.
year. This is his second year playing for Tiger Lacrosse, and he already
He's got
I mean,
4 goals.
he's got 4 goals already on varsity. He started, senior night he got 2 goals.
Yeah.
So
It was crazy.
I mean, we were all Nikita's doing great. He's putting everything he's got out there. So he's a really good kid to have on the team for us this year.
Well, I just want to shout Nikita out too because, like, even outside of practice, I sometimes drive by his house because he lives close to me. He's just out there shooting balls around. He's practicing like a ton. He's putting a ton more hours in outside of the actual team practices, and he has this work ethic that rubs off on you. So I just wanted to commend him for that because it's really impressive, especially for someone who's only played for 2 years.
Shout out Nikita.
Yeah. Well, and going on to what Peter said, Eric Klopfenstein, he's pretty. I mean, him and Louis have been our 2 rocks on offense.
Like, rely on them to score.
You can rely because Louis is a big guy. You can, he'll get the job done. He'll muscle through somebody. And Eric's fast. He's got good footwork, so he can get around somebody and get the feed going. But those are our 2 rocks on offense.
Do you guys want to highlight maybe any like underclassmen, younger kids that are coming up through the program that maybe to look out for the future or even or at the end of this year?
I'm liking Schlegel. Schlegel's on JV right now, and he's
first year, right?
His first year ever playing. So like, he's like never played before anything, and he's played. I think he's played 2 full varsity games as just like a face-off and like a good defender. And I think he's been balling out. Honestly,
He has been.
So he knows how to play defense. He's a very physical dude, on the smaller side, but does not back down from any like big guys. So I'm liking Schlegel.
Schlegel's got a lot of heart. If you go and watch one of the JV games and watch him play, he also puts everything out there. He's a solid rock on that team too.
Yeah, I agree. But there's some other people too that I'd like to shout out. Is Barrett Klopfenstein stepping up to play LSM because that's a different position than the midi position he's playing because he has to play with a long pole, and that's just something that like is not easy for the typical lacrosse player to do. And Ethan Fouch too. Yeah, he also is playing pole, and he's our only freshman in the program. So I gotta give him props for that, leading the class. Yeah.
So do you guys just have a JV and varsity team? It's just the 2?
Yeah, I think multiple years ago, before we were in like here, they've had enough numbers for a freshman team. But with like every sport here, we're kind of the numbers are declining a little bit. Last year was really bad. We had all-time low of like 33 kids, which is like you kind of want around 40 for 2 teams. 2020. So we had. I mean, last year it was like the COVID year, so it was all it was a bit of a mess. So we just had like a bunch of double rostered kids. But this year we had just around 40, which is perfect for like 2 teams.
Yeah, and then going back to what Jack was saying, you want to describe, I don't know, playing pole or LSM. Just I don't know what those mean, so I'm sure people.
If you want to, you can.
Well, so I play defense, and so typically defenders will have it's called a long pole. It's a normal lacrosse stick, but it's 6 feet long. Normal players, their stick's about like 3.5 feet long. And then, I mean, it's just good for defense, gives you extra space because, I mean, the way I always look at it is on defense, you don't know where you're going. On offense, you know where you're going. Defense, you have to mirror the guy. That just gives you a bit of extra leg room when you're playing defense. And so typically you have the 3 defenders who stay behind. They all have long poles. And then at a time, you're allowed to have 4 people on the field with long poles. And so typically you have a midfielder called a long stick midfielder who will come on and play defense with what we call poles, which is like the longer stick.
Gotcha.
Alex, I know you touched on this a little bit, but for Peter and Jack, I saw John and Jack, and you too, Alex. I don't know if you completely. Are you guys still interested in playing lacrosse in college?
Yeah,
playing with the club?
I've looked into Dayton's like club team, so it's just I think it's like 2 practices a week. Obviously, you have to make the team in the spring, so I think why not? I've stuck with it for like 8 years now, so might as well go try it out and try out for the team when I get there or for the spring.
Yeah, so University of Illinois, they have a club team. Again, they just do practice like 2 or 3 times a week, and it's like after classes. So it's basically just what I'm doing now. And I don't think I could ever be at a college and like sit still. So my plan has always been to go play there, but especially with injury now, it's kind of an extra step to push myself to even play.
I honestly haven't looked at the club program at my college, but I will probably try to do something lacrosse related in the future. It might not be next year; it could be the year after, just to situate, But yeah, I'm looking forward to keeping the stick in my hand.
Good to hear.
Yeah. Do you guys want to? So you play Tuesday at Barrington
Yes,
or
Tuesday.
tomorrow?
Yeah.
Is that playoffs? You want to just touch on like how your season's coming to a close?
So that
Or a
is
playing
our
game.
yeah. So that Barrington is our last regular season game, but it's at Barrington, so yeah, it's a little bit of a hike. And then on Thursday we play. It's Downers Grove. I think they're a co-op team.
Yeah,
right?
they're co-op.
So Downers Grove and North and South, they're a co-op team for our first round of playoffs on Thursday of this week.
Where's that at?
At
Downers Grove South.
I think at Downers Grove South.
Yeah.
I think that's where their games are played at.
They were going to run out of field space, though, because they had their proms Wednesday and Thursday night,
Yeah.
and then they couldn't have it Saturday for some reason.
Just weird.
Weeknight proms.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I-
I've never heard of that either.
Yeah.
But our coach.
Are they out of
us.
school though? They could be out of school already.
They gotta be if it's. those
Oh,
are,
that's true.
Yeah.
Wait, isn't there actually? Yeah, no, they are. Yeah.
Mr. Brennan, you want to add anything?
Yeah. So in the fiber here, in the fabric, the DNA we in Warrenville South is predominantly a football school, right? And then this year we had our all-time winningest team in basketball. And then obviously we've got Hall of Fame coaches sprinkled in throughout. Schreier, Harvey. No disrespect to anyone that I'm missing since I'm only a year or 2 here at Wheaton Warrenville South. And we got a murderer's row of coaches here. Do you guys kind of have like a chip on your shoulder, being like a little brother, a newer type of athletic program compared to some of the more storied programs here?
It definitely sucks with the practice time, like
Oh, yeah.
7:30 to 9. It's terrible. Or now 8:30 to 9, but it is like terrible to be like there because like you like finish up all your homework at and then you have to come back and either like do more homework after 9 or study and like shower and then eat late. So I don't know. It definitely does feel like the little brother here, but I don't know. It'd be nice to bring more of a winning season this year, so it's kind of a letdown. But
I mean, I think many people don't know a bunch about lacrosse, and so that's just kind of like, it's a growing sport, that's for sure, but it's just kind of like an outreach thing. I think if more people would actually try and play, they'd love it because it's a fast-paced, high-scoring game. You're always moving; it never stops. So I think getting more people exposed to it, especially here at South, they could definitely gain some numbers. And I think people would actually really enjoy playing for that team.
No, I agree with Alex. Since it's predominantly played in the East Coast, I know there's programs like True Lacrosse that brought it out here. I feel like with time, the program will grow, as is just a number of people who are playing in the Midwest. Because there used to only be like a select amount of travel teams, and now there's just a ton of variety with it. So yeah.
Anything else? Anybody else wants to say?
You guys got anything you want to add? Shout out real quick.
Recruit any younger
I
kids?
don't know.
Let them know.
Freshmen come play lacrosse.
Yeah,
especially
Yeah,
if
there
you're,
were no freshmen
like
this year.
if you play a fall sport, it keeps you in shape for the fall. So if you don't know anything about lacrosse, if you're playing football in the fall, it definitely keeps you on your feet. And I think it gets you a little bit faster, or it gives you just certain stuff that you don't think that you get from lacrosse. So it just keeps you in shape instead of doing maybe off-season workouts. So you can do both of those. So some underclassmen should come out and play lacrosse. I think you guys would like it. It's pretty fast-paced.
All right, I got nothing to add. Anything?
Neither
All
do I.
right. Well, before we let them go, I kind of wanted to. So it's been a while since we hopped back on, and obviously we're missing Luke, and we had an informal finals week and then 2 weeks of AP testing. So we're gonna try to cram a lot this week. We'll see how we do it because you have practice, Luke has practice. But with everybody being seniors and going places, I know we've touched on it a little bit. Do you guys just want to go one by one and talk about what you're doing next year?
I'm going to the University of Dayton in Ohio to study business.
I'm going to University of Illinois to study business as well.
I'm going to Washington University in St. Louis to study neuroscience.
There we go.
That's the plan.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you so much.
Of course. And good luck Tuesday and Thursday.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
Tigers.
Don't forget. Go Tigers.
We almost forgot how to close this out.